Evans from LymeOnline, bringing the latest news, sport, weather forecast and a roundup of this weekend's events in Lyme Regis. No definite scheme has been decided on for the long-term future of the Regent Cinema, despite rumours circulating on social media this week, but the building will be put to use in the short term. Comments were made on Facebook this week that the fire-stricken Regent, which has remained closed for just over 6 years, would not be redeveloped as a cinema, but instead as a cafe with flats behind it. The site was last year sold by WTW Scott Cinemas to local businessman Seb Walther, who also owns Marshwood Garage. Responding to the claims made on Facebook, Mr Walther said he was hoping to find some kind of short-term use for the Grade 2 listed building, while long and arduous planning consents were sought for the long term, but no definite scheme for this had yet been decided. Mr Walther said the building had suffered damage and vandalism as young people have repeatedly broken into the rear yard of the site, culminating in a hole created in an 18-inch wall to gain entry after the existing entrances were double boarded inside and out. Mr Walther is now in discussions with fellow businessman Steve Postles, former tenant of the Neat clothing shop next to the Regent, who has agreed to let the ground floor of the cinema for 1 year to give it some purpose, tidy up the frontage and avoid any further vandalism and damage. Mr Walther gave the following comment on the long-term future of the town centre building. As to the speculation of my future plans for the building, there has been no definite scheme agreed as of yet, but when it is agreed upon, there will be consultations and a presentation to the Town Council, with hopefully some positive consensus on bringing the former cinema into a new and exciting use for us all to enjoy. One of Lyme Regis's most critically acclaimed restaurants hit the national headlines this week after asking a party of abysmal customers never to return. Seafront restaurant Tom's, which has built up an excellent reputation for its high-quality service and food since opening in late 2020, was left £350 short after a party of 10 refused to pay their bill. Chef and owner Tom Robinson took to Facebook after the incident to warn other restaurants and ask the customers never to return, which has made headlines up and down the country. The incident took place on Saturday evening when the town was packed with visitors enjoying the scorching weather. The party of 10, including 4 children, booked their table just an hour before dining and were said to have gone big on their order, choosing some of the most expensive items on the menu. They later sent high-quality food back to the kitchen and eventually refused to pay their entire bill, getting aggressive and making the staff feel particularly uncomfortable. Other customers also complained about their behaviour, with one diner saying he had felt so uncomfortable that he'd gone to sit in his nearby car. Others had to stop the children climbing on outside furniture, including gas patio heaters and a fuse box, and one diner was hit on the head with a plastic beach spade. Mr Robinson said the incident was incredibly disappointing for his staff, but he eventually asked the party to leave without paying for fear it would escalate into violence. Tom's was recently awarded an AA Rosette and reached the finals of the prestigious Trenchermans Awards in 2 categories, including Best Front of House. Tribute has been paid to Uplyme Parish Councillor Neil Pillinger, who has died unexpectedly after a short illness at the age of 70. Mr Pillinger moved to Uplyme in 1990 with his wife Heather and threw himself into community life. He served as governor and trustee for Mrs Ethelston's Primary School and governor for the Woodruff School, treasurer at the village preschool and church, and on the committees for the Village Hall, King George V Playing Field and Uplyme Community Fund. Mr Pillinger served on Uplyme Parish Council from 2015 until his recent death, and was instrumental in securing the necessary funding for Devon Air Ambulance to use the King George Field as a night landing site. He was also well known to residents as he worked part-time in the village shop at the filling station. Uplyme Parish Council has paid tribute to Mr Pillinger, saying the news of his death was met with great sadness and praising him for his knowledge and commitment to village life. The renowned Boat Building Academy at Monmouth Beach in Lyme Regis celebrated its 25th anniversary with an open day last weekend. The day started with a presentation by Academy Director Will Reid, who spoke briefly about the building's history and plans to develop the site and the practical training courses it offers in the future. The Academy was founded in 1997 by Commander Tim Gedge after a career in the Fleet Air Arm of the Royal Navy. He now serves as Honorary Life President of the organisation and still owns the building, which he leases to the Academy for a reasonable rate. The Academy was granted charity status in 2020 and more recently has developed a programme of furniture making courses which share the same philosophy as its popular boat building training. Mr. Reid spoke about ambitious plans to eventually purchase the site at Monmouth Beach and expand and develop it with the hope of offering a wider range of courses to more students. Celebrations then got underway with the cutting of a ribbon by Mr. Gedge, and members of the public were able to explore the workshop and get an up-close look at current and completed projects.
I'd just like to hand over to Tim Gedge, who founded the Academy 25 years ago. It's a big day. Big day.
Hooray!
Tim is going to cut the ribbon and then we can all go in and have a good look around. Okay, Tim, over to you.
I wanted just to say it's a very proud day for me to be doing this. I kind of feel that maybe I ought to have been cutting the ribbon and opening the place 25 years ago. But here we are, we've moved forward just a huge amount in that 25 years. We are a charity now, which was very much in my mind early on, to form a charity for all sorts of good reasons, to support people who couldn't otherwise afford to come and do the training here. But 25 years on, of course, we've got examples of all sorts of things that we have, that the students have made. I've said every time that what you see, the boats and the furniture, that's the byproduct of the training. And it's not a bad byproduct to have. Thank you to everybody. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to all the people that have put a lot of effort into today, particularly to the staff, Will and everybody here. I'm bowled over by what has been achieved, getting this all together. So, without any more ado, I'm going to cut the ribbon, we'll open the doors, and please come and enjoy. Hey!
Harbour dredging in Lyme Regis has been further delayed as not to interfere with the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations. The work has already been delayed from late April to mid-May, but will now not start until at least June 6th to ensure it does not impact on the Platinum Jubilee celebrations in Lyme Regis, which will include the BBC Big Band Orchestra playing on the beach. If there are no other delays, the work should then be completed by June 24th, but this is heavily dependent on the weather. Dredging is essential maintenance carried out every year in Lyme Regis to ensure safe navigable channels are maintained in the harbour. But the work often results in complaints from the public, especially as it is often carried out over the busy spring period, as it results in sections of the sand beach being closed. Others have raised environmental and health concerns about materials from the harbour being deposited across the sand beach and into the main swimming area. But Dorset Council has always maintained that harbour dredging does not affect the water quality in Lyme Regis. The council has admitted that there were problems in obtaining licences for the work this year, which is why the dredging was not carried out earlier in the season. Preparatory work has already started to ensure the dredging and beach replenishment in 2023 is started ahead of the holiday season. Fundraisers are being planned in memory of popular former Lyme Regis student and local footballer Adam Bounds as it approaches the first anniversary of his sudden death. The Lyme Regis and Axminster communities were left shocked when Adam died last May, aged 41, following a brain hemorrhage. An inquest in December put his death down to a severe and rare reaction to the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine. Adam had attended the Woodruff School in Lyme Regis and played football for Axminster and Up Lyme. Although he had moved to Bristol later in life, he remained a particularly popular character in the local area. As it approaches the first anniversary of Adam's death, friends are planning to remember him by raising funds for his favourite charity, the RNLI. Best friend Matthew Payne and 4 others will be cycling 131 miles later this month from Lyme Regis Lifeboat Station to Newquay Lifeboat Station in Cornwall. The group were hoping to raise £1,000 for the RNLI, but have already surpassed this target, and you can still sponsor them online via the website shown on screen now. A disco is also being planned to celebrate Adam's life and raise further funds for the RNLI. The event will be held at Axminster Football Club on Saturday, June 18th, and will include a number of Michael Jackson songs, Adam's favourite artist. Tickets for £5 are now available to book online via the website shown on screen. More than £1,700 has already been raised for the RNLI in memory of Adam through donations made at his funeral and a charity football match during last year's Lifeboat Week. Lyme and Lyme Regis made a storming start to their first season in the Devon Cricket League Division C East after winning promotion last year. Lyme started their new campaign by welcoming Heathcote to the King George V playing field on Saturday, where they chalked up a convincing 6-wicket victory. Star of the opening game was the club's new overseas player Anand Abhishek, who topped 68 in Lyme's winning score of 227 for the loss of 4 wickets. Lyme restricted the visitors to 221 runs for the loss of 9 wickets, with Andrew Harrison returning figures of 3 wickets for the loss of 26 runs. Tomorrow, Lyme travel to Exeter Second 11 in second place in the division, having gained 19 points from the first game. The football season at the Davy Fort drew to a close last Saturday, with Lyme Regis reserves winning 1-0 in their last Devon and Exeter Division 1 game against Exeter United, finishing in a credible 6th place. At the end of the game, both sides formed a tunnel and clapped veteran referee Glyn Roberts from the pitch after officiating his last game. Mr Roberts has been refereeing for several decades, having been the man in the middle at hundreds of senior and youth matches. Lyme Regis Gig Club entered 6 crews in the Cornish Pilot Gig World Championships held on the Isles of Scilly over the May Bank Holiday weekend. Now one of the most successful clubs in the Western Peninsula, the Lyme A crew were placed 7th in the men's Super Vets class, and in the women's Super Vets, Lyme finished 10th, performances that delighted club officials. During the coming weeks, the Lyme rowers will be competing in regattas across the southwest and will be hosting their own event in August. The Lyme Regis branch of the U3A hosted a talk this morning on the history and landscape of the Marshwood Vale by retired Bristol University resident tutor Bob Mackin, starting at 11 a.m. in the Woodmead Halls. On Saturday, Lyme and Lyme Regis Horticultural Society will host a plant sale and coffee morning in Lyme Village Hall from 10 a.m, and the Nag's Head will play host to popular local duo Guilty Pleasure at their weekly live music night from 9 p.m. It will be a busy day in Lyme Regis on Sunday, starting with the annual May Fete on Anning Road playing fields from 1 p.m. An organ recital will be held at St Michael's Parish Church from 3 p.m, and a Young Creatives open mic session for those aged 16 to 25 will be held at the Marine Theatre, also from 3 p.m. The Marine will then finish off the weekend with its monthly comedy club, this month headlined by star of Live at the Apollo, Laura Lex. Sunshine is forecast in Lyme Regis throughout the day today, with a little more cloud cover expected on Saturday and rain overnight. This should clear up throughout Sunday morning, with cloud and a moderate breeze forecast for the remainder of the day. Temperatures are expected to reach highs of 17 degrees. Thanks for watching LymeOnline's video news bulletins. You can always catch up with the latest local news on our website and follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for regular updates. Have a great weekend.